Dear friends, hello, hello. We are today not in our, usual time, but it's special time. Why we are in special time? Because we have one very nice and smiling person who is now in Indonesia, in Jakarta, at quarantine. And we are very lucky to catch that star. It's Gil Petersil. Why this man is famous and what is he famous for? He is international expert on business strategy. He wrote a book which is very interesting, New Code of Networking. So he's the master of networking, professor or the king of networking. I don't know, Gil, how you call it, the king of networking. He is co-owner of 7 international businesses while living in Bali. So it sounds like life in paradise, And he is extremely good in getting in touch with royal families, big businesses, promoting huge gurus like Tony Robinson. So I'm very happy, Gil, to welcome you. And my first question to you. You wrote the book, New Code of Not Networking, and you're famous for networking. And whatever country you come, you make big projects and you help people and you build businesses and help big brands. What is this new code for networking?
So first of all, thank you so much for hosting me. And I love that I'm able to serve your community from, a little hotel room here during my quarantine. It's wonderful that I'm able to utilize this time to serve the world, which has been really a part of my mission, a part of my mantra, a part of how I live my life. Growing up in a very simple family and being moving around quite a bit in the world, I've learned a few things about myself. First of all, I learned that I was an introvert from a very young age, and it's in my nature. And also learned from the age of 10 that I'm referred to as an immigrant because I've moved so much in my life. And what I understood about this word of networking is something that only came at a later stage of my life, which is not just building relationships and trying to move forward and find progress in life, but it's truly finding your purpose. It's truly finding nourishment. It's being able to make a massive difference in the world just by the way we connect with people, by the way we look at them with curiosity, by the way we look at them and say, hey, how can I potentially help this person in a split second? Why is it that I met this person in this point in my journey in life? And could I say something then to help them out? Can I connect them with someone? And the new code for me is all about understanding that a massive part of our purpose in life is to create and organize this incredible network around us. It's to serve this network around us and to see how are we growing and flourishing in life due to these incredible people that we put around us.
Now I can see a red bracelet on your hand. And as a person, a guru of networking, yes, tell me please, because I feel that your energy, maybe it's the energy of Bali or the energy of freedom is in you while you're speaking. Tell me please how you use this energy of freedom in networking, because you work with big businesses, you host huge events, and of course, it's different from the energy of jungle, from the energy of nature. How you combine, Gil, these two energies?
So that's an incredible question. First of all, each one of these 5 bracelets I've received from a different, human being that wanted to bless me before a specific journey that I took. It was either a fire blessing or a water blessing. And it's something that I believe in because I believe that as humans, we are all angels to each other, which means each of us has the power to bless other people. And maybe some of your listeners saying, what is this guy talking about blessing? I'm more of a religious person. I don't believe in God. Whatever it is that you believe in, you need to agree with me, if you choose to, that every single thing we have achieved in life is due to other human beings. We've been inspired by someone opened a door, someone introduced us to someone. And because of this knowledge, I've been able to climb up the ladder within the corporate world when I worked as a corporate employee, and climbed very, very quickly high up to understand how could I be of service to the CEOs of some of the largest companies in the world. And then I was thinking, well, if I want to play a role in the world and I don't have time to start growing as a politician, can I start working with incredible politicians in the world that I believe in and influence them in a positive way so that governments can have better relationships with each other, and corporations can understand a lot more about strategic partnerships and internal community or internal networking culture, where it's truly about asking for help. It's truly about giving service to each other. And yeah, I could definitely tell you that living in a lot of countries around the world, I've lived in many, many continents around the world.
Yes, I can see you lived in
Canada,
Israel, Canada, Russia, UK, Bali, which is
Singapore.
Singapore, and the countries are all very different. It's not that it's Europe or Asia, very different list of countries.
And I think it's what people really need in life. I think that people need adventures. People need diversification. People need to leave their comfort zone. And for myself as an introvert, as a shy guy, I remember in my 20s, walking up to a woman was difficult. And then walking up to high-level business people was also difficult the first few times. But breaking through that was very, very helpful when I started understanding that there's patterns and there's methodology. And you mentioned Bali. Bali has definitely given me a lot of, harmony in my life. And it taught me to calm down, and it taught me to become a superhuman and to understand how to have incredible energy to go to a place like Dubai for a couple of weeks and rock it. Like really be not just of service to them, but be a rock star for myself, to stay healthy and stay focused and stay of service and know how to make a difference in a short period of time.
Gil, it is what you're saying is very positive, and definitely it gives a lot of hope, because I know that not every person can find this energy in life as you find it. Maybe you find it from nature, maybe you find it from people, maybe you find even it from yourself. You said you were introvert and it was difficult to come to a girl, to a lady. So now you don't look like an introvert at all. On the contrary, you look like extrovert. You are very open. What were your first steps to that extra, like what were the first right steps and wrong steps to become more open?
I think the first few steps that anyone who's listening right now could choose to take is to understand that it's not about being an introvert or an extrovert, but it's about, can I make more of a difference in the world that I'm currently doing right now? Or do I want to fulfill more of my purpose this day, this month, this year? Or do I want to wait till I'm much, much older? I decided at one point that I want to be more useful to the world. And what I needed to do is I needed to constantly step out of my comfort zone. We all know that in order to grow and flourish in life, we must face our fears and battle them one at a time. And we all have fears. And one of my fears was walking up to strangers. One of my fears was speaking in front of an audience. It was a huge fear. I remember being in school. I used to get very sick, physically sick, when the teacher told me I need to get up in front of a group of people. And as a young adult, I understood that speaking in front of a group of people was actually a hack. Instead of me walking up to them one by one and starting a conversation, I could speak in front of all of them for a few minutes, and then it's up to them to walk up to me. And that was a really good technique, because then I had to force myself to count 1, 2, 3, jump on stage and deliver what I could, because I knew that I was delivering from the heart, and I knew that I had something of valuable to offer to them. And that connected completely, not just to networking or the power of mastermind, something that I practice a lot, but this ability to look at human beings around you, which is where I get all of my energy. Look at people and just count to 3 and give them a little compliment in your mind, which is a really cool life hack that a lot of speakers around the world use. When they look at strangers as they want to talk in front of them, as they want to talk to them, instead of allowing your mind to come up with fears and reasons why not to talk to them, you come up with, think positively about reasons why you should talk to them, and think complimenting them and complimenting yourself in that situation. And it puts you in that moment where you're framing yourself to be a superhuman in front of them.
Can I take this rule that you just put as one of the first rules of networking, when instead of fear and thinking how I'm looking, is it the right moment to tell to that person, just to think how you can compliment that person, how you can connect with that person, how you can start working with that person? Is it a kind of the rule of networking?
It's definitely one of my first principles. You know, there's networking. Many people think that networking is starting with breaking the ice and walking up to someone, but actually networking starts at home, where you can actually have networking goals and you can outline networking priorities. It's something that I do a lot with my clients, is helping them identify who do they need in front of them in order to progress in life, in order to find more happiness, more wealth, more health in your body. Who do you need around you in your network? And first of all, identifying those people or characteristics in your life, and then thinking about them in a positive way, not fearful and not concerned and not judgment, but thinking about them in a complimentary way, being grateful to them. This is a really beautiful, beautiful practice that people could do at home before they step into a meeting, before they go on a date, before they go into negotiation. They could put themselves in a positive and powerful way in order to connect in a more synchronistic way with the person itself.
I think this is a very good example that we should think about what people can be useful for us to grow, because that is a very good rule. Just to find, I don't know, you need Putin or you need Biden, but maybe you need somebody lower scale. You don't need that. Maybe you need to meet Gil. Maybe you need to meet, Sister Maria. I don't know. And then you put them in the list, and then you find who can help you to meet them. Or maybe you can even write email. Some people, you will be surprised, they are answering emails. And if you write a good letter, they are happy to do it. So just to find and to connect with people from the list. This is what you're saying about?
Well, so what you're actually asking is so much deeper than most people might understand, because if you ask the average human being around us today, who do you look up to? Who's your role model? Who's your mentor? Unfortunately, too many people will not can come up with anything because they don't have active mentors in their life. And then many people will identify all these individuals and characters in the world who are 100 steps above them, like you just said, Sister Maria or Putin or Biden. But there is no need. The most powerful ways of progressing forward in life is identifying people who are 3, 5, maybe 10 steps ahead of where you'd like to be. Whether it's being a good father, whether it's being a good business partner, whether it's being a good boss in a company, whether it's being a health guru, whether it's being a millionaire in your business, it doesn't really matter. What you want is not someone who's 100 steps above you, who could just maybe inspire you. You want someone that can actually give you the next few steps, someone that would actually give you attention. So if you write me, for example, I'll be very honest with you, I'm not going to be the one answering you right away because I get over 1,000 messages a day. But if you give me a reason to connect with you, my assistant will be the one answering you right away. And then if you give her a reason why you'd like to talk to me, which I love getting messages from people, I would pleasurably connect with you, because that's the most beautiful thing in life. People are opportunities, and every single person that wants to talk to me is maybe an angel in disguise of a human being that wants to collaborate. They want to help me out. They somehow want to co-elevate, as Keith Ferrazzi beautifully says, co-elevate each other. And that's the best way for me to continuously grow, to help others around me grow. So people out there, try to identify individuals who you look up to, who are not necessarily the biggest celebrities in the world, but people who are a few steps ahead of you, people who are active on social media, which means you could follow them and they can actually be your virtual mentor before you met them. People who maybe wrote a book, or people who are publicly speaking at events, which means you can have an opportunity to learn from them and connect with them physically when you choose to.
Gil, this is definitely right said, but a lot of big business people and people in the Forbes list, when you talk to them, they don't have any mentors. If you say, Mr. So-and-so, how they will say, I don't have a mentor. This is a very, honest answer, and very often answer that you receive. Now the question to you, what do you think about this? Because I'm often asked that question. And, I had a chance while working in Nikkei, this is the third largest Japanese newspaper, to take the interviews with a lot of oligarchs, Russian oligarchs. Of course, none of them have mentors. Or they're not saying about that.
Yeah,
that's the question to you. Who is this mentor?
So I've done business for many, many years in Russia, and I've done business with oligarchs and some of the most influential politicians in the country, I can guarantee to you that every single person there has a mentor, whether they like it or not. They have people that they look up to. Now, in some cultures, people refer to a mentor as maybe their boss or someone in a different department that is much more successful than they are. Whether every single person who's listening to this or not, every single person has 3 to 5 individuals that they look up to, and that for them is the next level up. That's how, as humans, we progress. Every single individuals out there in the real world has always achieved something that someone else has achieved before them. Even the fastest runner in the world, he would not have achieved be at that speed unless someone achieved something a little bit less than them. That's what we are as humans. We're always trying to get to the next level above another human being.
And by the way, that is fair enough. Yeah, as you say, there is no need to invent the bicycle since the bicycle was invented. Maybe it's better to follow or to read or to meet, or if you don't have a chance just to meet, to follow that person who already did it. And that will just economy your time, save your time, and maybe in your life you will do something better because you saved that time. So that's fair enough.
I think that in some cultures, people are not always comfortable to admit that someone guided them to get to where they are. I think that some men especially maybe are not vulnerable enough to admit that they had a hero come into their life and bring them to the level of where they are today. And it's not always one person. One person could take you to one level and then they move on, and then you find another person move on to the next level. It's not that you have one guardian angel your whole life that brings you up. Some people could believe that God is that for them, but I really believe that God puts on all these incredible human beings around us, and it's up to us to choose who do we connect with, who do we hold on to, who do we co-elevate with, and are we honest and open with ourselves and others that we need these people around us in order to get to the next level.
Yeah, that's about vulnerability, and I'm happy that you mentioned it. I would like to ask you about your project that you're doing in Bali, and it is called Plastic Exchange. I heard it's ecological charity project. Definitely, it's very different from networking. Definitely, it's very different from growing brands, from earning money. You are doing something concretely, absolutely different. Why you choose to do it, Gil? What is that?
So it's 100% connected to building brands and networking. For me, networking is every single time that I connect with individuals and I look to either find a way to help them or find a way to collaborate with them. And when COVID hit, I was very, very lucky and blessed to have met an incredible human being in Bali who was looking to help the local community by giving them food, by allowing them to survive during such a difficult pandemic, but without taking their dignity away. And, I'm always inspired by philanthropists around the world. And even though in my life, I've not always had a lot of money, even when it was a difficult time for me, I still found a way to give charity. Even when my business during COVID, one of my biggest businesses has been in tourism, another one in events. Even though those businesses went down completely, I still wanted to serve. I still wanted to make a difference in the world. And Plastic Exchange is one of those projects that I'm very, very proud of because it currently allows about 300 tons of plastic to be collected every single month from different villages around Bali. And it's done almost at zero cost because the exchange is food. We give the local villagers rice and different food, and sometimes kids get books for school when they bring plastic to the local community center. And it's just a movement that my wife and I, we really saw and we believed in, and we wanted to support them because we saw how incredible it was for a community building, how really simple it is to create networking flourishment. How you can help a group of people come closer together when the whole world is breaking apart.
So the idea is the kids and young people, they are collecting plastic in Bali. They are giving this plastic to community centers or to any centers. And for that, they receive food or books or something useful for them. Is it like that?
And it's not just young people. You'll have people at all ages. Sometimes you have these amazing old women showing up at the community centers with a kid next to them. The kid holds a couple of bags. Old woman holds a couple of bags, and they bring different recycling goods. The focus is plastic, but over the last 6 months, we've been collecting metal and glass and paper as well. And it's just allowing the community to come together, to feel proud that even though there's no tourism and it's very difficult time financially in the economy, they're still doing something to help Bali become a stronger place. And for me, it's beautiful to see abundance and happy people all around me in my neighborhood, because this is where we live right now.
Are you planning to take this plastic exchange movement further, or you just want to leave it in Bali? For you, it's just the way to overcome. What are your plans now?
So, it's not really about my plans, because it's not a project that I started, but it's a project I sit on the board of. I'm one of the biggest funders they have. So I raise money myself with other people. I give our own family money to actually support 6 communities around our home, 6 villages that we actually sponsor ourselves. But because I sit very closely to the founder and I'm constantly supporting the thing bigger, first of all, we want to scale within Indonesia itself, because it's a very sustainable recycling program. And for me, it really inspires me, because life is not just about making money and running businesses. I'm a very successful businessman. But for me, it's about how can I help entrepreneurs out there who are constantly dealing with fears, or how can I help lift the spirit of people by connecting them with other people when it comes to, hey, we're doing something great together. So yeah, I'd love to inspire the world to do this. I've recently spoken to some members of the royal family in Dubai about what we could do for the entrepreneur community in the UAE. I was there for a couple of weeks, and it was really inspiring. And they were super inspired by this plastic exchange movement. And I spoke to someone in South America who, is really into recycling program. And he said to me, Gil, you know what? It's been costing us millions of dollars to try to build recycling programs, and we're still not sustainable. It's cost you almost zero money, and you're collecting 300 tons of plastic a month, and you're getting people to do it from their hearts, not because you pay them to, because they want to be a part of something greater than themselves. And that is the power of the collective genius of a real beautiful network.
Gil, it is very nice. I'm very happy that I met you, because what you do is very different, very inspiring, and it's not usual way of networking and not usual way of making communities. At the same time, collecting plastic. I think it's a very nice idea. What you will recommend to people who are hidden heroes? You mentioned today heroes, and you mentioned today our platform is called Hidden Heroes. Who is hidden hero for you?
For me, this is so beautiful. This is why I really fell in love with your channel and what it is that you're doing. My honest answer from the bottom of my heart, every single person out there is a hidden hero. They're just afraid of themselves. They're afraid to make a difference in someone else's life, because maybe they think I need more education. Maybe I need more experience. Maybe I'm too young. But this is where the beauty of mentorship comes in. Every single big Hollywood movie has taught us that the actor, the hero of the movie, had a hero himself. Whether it's Neo at the Matrix, whether it's Kung Fu Panda, whatever it really is, we all have heroes around us. So I think the magic here is to just look within us and maybe just take a piece of paper and write down what's amazing about me, or, what's the most amazing things that I've achieved so far in my life that I could maybe tell others, or what are the most incredible things that I want to do in life that if I share with others, maybe we can collaborate. And I think truly a hidden hero is someone out there who's gone through a struggle in life, who knows what it's like to go through the hero's journey and what successful failures really are. And how do we mess up? I've messed up a lot in business, which is the only reason I can see my success being also a failure, and seeing my failure as being a great lesson in life. And the heroes are people who have gone through these ups and down journeys and are about to start sharing the story. And if I could somehow be of help to these people to unleash the hero within them, that would allow them to not hide so much from their awesomeness.
That is a great advice from Gil. Not hide away from your awesomeness, hidden heroes, but just go on the stage like Gil is doing. He's not afraid to be co-owner of 7 businesses, staying in Bali, and even in quarantine in Jakarta, he is looking, you know, happy, smiling, and with a lot of power. Thank you so much for your big energy, for your knowledge, and that you are staying that positive and young and very curious about life. That is what I noticed, Gil, about you. All the best.
Thank you.
Domo arigato.